In this video we're going to go into the scripting and I'm going to show you how to make a button. First of all, I'm going to create my button under Scene Manager by right clicking and going Add Object, GL, 2D, GL 2D Button. You then select the texture you wish to make your button and then go to Pressed Texture Location, selecting the texture you wish to use for when the button is pressed. I'm again using the dice for the texture button, and then I've edited a version of the texture so there is a difference for when the button is pressed. I've also renamed my button GL2D Button Dice and resized it for my own benefit. Next, you need to create the sprite object that is affected by your button. You do this by right-clicking on Scene Manager again and selecting Add Object, GL, 2D, GL Sprite. And I'm going to name this SBR Leaf as the texture I'm using is going to be a leaf. Again, I'm sizing it down so it fits the window better for my own benefit. I'm also going to set the pos X and pos Y of the leaf so it's easier for when we go into the scripting. Now that we have everything set up, we can go into the scripts window in Designer. The first thing we need to do is click on the drop-down list at the top of the scripts window and select Add New Script. From there, you need to select Main Window, GL Window, Scene Manager, GL2D Button Dice, and then On Click. This will give you your action trigger. Next, you need to right-click in the script window and select Add Node, and then select Animate Object Variable Float, SBR Leaf, pos Y. This will then bring up a blank node to fill in. The from and to functions will be where your image moves from and to on the screen along the y-axis as we've selected pos Y, but you can choose any axis. Time is how long the sprite will take to move on screen, and repeat is whether you wish to repeat the movement. You need to put var and then a colon at the start of each function for it to work. You then need to link the animate object variable to the action trigger, like so. If you want to add sound to the button when it is clicked, you need to add your sound to the sound file in your project folder by going Mobile Mill, Workspace, your project's name, and then Sound. To create the sound in the project window of Mobile Mill, you need to right-click on Scene Manager and go to Add Object, Audio, Sound, and an object should appear in your Scene Manager. You then have to select the sound object and go into the Properties window and select the empty value space next to location and enter the name of your sound there. You then need to go into the Scripts part of Designer and right-click to add another node for your sound by going Object Function, in this case Lightning, as that is the name of the sound, and then Play. Then draw a line from the action trigger to your sound. Once you have done that, you need to save in Mobile Mill before launching the IDE. You can check that your button works by launching the local Windows debugger and clicking your button in the window that your project pops up in. Now I'm going to show you where this action comes in the code. First, we will look at the button code in the main.cpp file. You can see that the code for my button is these 4 lines here, starting by creating the button and setting the callback, before creating the sprite, in this case the leaf, and then creating the sound. In the header file, the code for the button is also 4 lines. It again starts with the button before going into the sprite and sound, and then voiding the button on click. I am also going to go into the mill script here, specifically millscript_main.h, to show you the code that shows you how the animation works. As you can see, the code creates the new animation sequence. It calls the animation of the sprite, in this case SBR Leaf, then specifies that the sprite is moving along the y-axis and creates the sound.